Hello everyone. I wanted to give our readers at Adrenaline Vault a little taste of how combat takes place in Zeno class. These clips you're going to be watching are all taken from the Tower Challenge portion of the game, which is a kind of skirmish mode. What that means is that the clips you're watching will focus entirely on fighting and will do nothing to spoil the single-player story arc. Now, as you've been watching already, you've seen, this is first-person perspective, and you've been seeing me fighting a number of opponents. Almost every fight in this game will take place between you and multiple opponents. Now, what that means is that during all of the fighting that takes place, you have to maintain situational awareness. Now, if you've been watching along, you've noticed that while I focus on one opponent, I sometimes take fire from other enemies on the battlefield. I've already liquidated one enemy at this point, and now I'm going to focus on the current opponent. This particular enemy likes to duck and weave a little bit. He's kind of tricky. You see, he gets inside my defenses there and then puts up a block after hitting me. Hits me with another good solid attack, and while this is going on, I'm taking fire from another direction. There's if you haven't seen him, there's an individual running around on an upper set of railing. I finally managed to catch him when he's coming up from a duck, get through his defenses, kick him in the groin, and stun him a little bit. And here comes the knee bashing into the face, which is ever so devastating to your enemies. You'll also notice that I'm kicking him while he's down, which is an interesting feature of combat in this game. I'm also going to illustrate one of the funnier parts of how the combat system works. Now you'll see that I'm trying to use the grenade launcher to shell him off the balcony. Now he's not dead, but instead of finishing him off with another grenade, I'm going to throw the grenade launcher at his head and boom, there he goes, he's knocked out. So even ranged weapons that are completely out of ammunition are useful weapons in this title. Now in this segment I'm going to show you the relative effectiveness of firearms versus fighting with your bare hands. Now you'll see I have several enemies on this map. A few are on the upper balcony shooting at me with grenade launchers, while I've got a couple of enemies on the ground floor with me. Now you see I've been shooting this guy several times with the double pistols, but they haven't done that much damage to him. It's not that they don't do any damage, it's that they don't do substantial damage right up front. And you've also, if you've been paying attention, have noticed that it takes me a while to reload any weapon. But the same thing also applies to enemies, and it is also very easy to make either yourself or your opponents drop a weapon from being punched even once. See, this individual right here tried to use the grenade launcher to take me out, but I've already overpowered him with bare hand attacks. He's not quite defeated, but he's almost done. Meanwhile, I pick up the grenade launcher, fire a shot, and start to reload. But since I've missed, he's going to come up and whack! I lose my grenade launcher right there, and now we've got to fight barehanded. He runs over to try and pick it up, but I beat him in the back of the head with a heavy punch, and he's down for the count. Now I've picked up the grenade launcher, and I'm going to swap it for the pistols because I want to see if I can directly shoot these two guys off the balcony. I start to hose this guy with the pistol. I'm doing some damage to him, but he's still there. And I shoot him some more. Now, it took 2 full magazines from these pistols to defeat that opponent entirely. I'm not intending this to be a criticism of the game. I want to instead emphasize that despite the presence of firearms, this game is primarily one where melee, unarmed combat rules the day. The firearms just kind of add an interesting little element to the game. Now, this final clip is going to be an example of a boss fight in the title. Now, you'll see that there are still multiple opponents, including the one that just knocked me on the ground, the big fat guy who's the actual boss. I'm going to spend some time trying to take out some of his friends while maintaining situational awareness so that I can sort of remove the ads, as it were. The thing about bosses, especially this one here, who just charged through one of his own friends to try and get to me, is they can't be brought down by normal means. This kind of a boss can only be defeated by beating him down with the bony club that I've picked up. And you see, he hits pretty hard. He just knocked me to the ground again. He's also pretty good at blocking, and between him and his little friends dancing around, it's really hard to just go up to him and just knock him around. If I tried to attack him with hand-to-hand combat, it's not just that he'd smack me around and kill me quickly, but it would be impossible to actually do significant damage. So I've got to finish this guy off that I'm punching out right now, and then go find and pick up the club and start beating down the boss again. Now he's charging at me, and that's when he's vulnerable. It's kind of like baseball. I've stunned him, I'm smacking him around now and hitting him while he's down until he gets back up and recovers his senses. Attacking him when he's not charging only leads to them blocking and doing a counter punch that's pretty devastating, like the one he almost just got me with. He's charging again, I hit him again, and smack him around, but because I didn't time that properly, I got hurt pretty bad. Now a new ad is joining the fight just as I stunned the boss and I smack him around again. I'm going to, during this portion of the fight, attempt to keep the ad between me and the boss, so that the boss either can charge into his own ally and defeat and destroy his own ally, or he's stuck not doing anything while I beat the tar out of his ally. One more good whack ought to put the ad out of business, and now we're back to fighting the boss. Here he comes for the charge. I miss my time on it, and he smacks me around very well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to survive this particular fight, so you can watch your friendly neighborhood reviewer getting stomped by the boss. And that about wraps up this clip. Go ahead and check out the rest of my review on Adrenaline Vault and see what I had to say about Zeno Clash, and I look forward to seeing you there.